It started as a Bible study. People started coming, it started growing, and as it grew, we figured that it was more than just a Bible study. So it's actually a youth Bible study that my mom started in our house. And from there, my mom decided to take it to the family. So she opened it up to our family, which lived around the area where the church actually started.
Started with the family. And we had family, my mom and myself, Jesse and Kay, and Albert. So we would have Bible studies on Saturdays.
So, dun ako nag-start sa Bible study nila Pastor Jesse sa garahe. At yun, sabay kaming lumago sa Panginoon.
Kasi nagsimula ako sa nag-attend o nakilala sila sa garahe nila Pastor Jesse. Yun ang unang-unang attend ko. Kasi in-invite ako ni Pastor Arnel. So, yun.
Ako, si Marlo Edusada. Tawag nila sa akin ni Louie. Ipinanganak, May 24. Huwag na yung year. Dito ako pinanganak sa Alperos. Yan. US Naval Base. Ang trabaho ako doon as a janitorial. Naging Christian ako actually, dahil sa kapitbahay. Pero yung time na yan, meron akong sakit na malaria. Sabi niya, attend ka kaya ng church namin. Baka doon mo yung healing. So, niyaya niya ako sa church. Yun yung church ng Agape Ministry sa may Kalaklan. Yun, nagmasid-masid ako. Nagkaroon ng altar call. Sabi nung isang pastor, yun nga, si Pastor Jesse, merong isang tao dito, may sakit ganyan. Sabi, hindi ako mapalagay. Parang kakaiba yung nararamdaman ko. Bigla na lang ako napatayo. Lumapit ako sa harap. Nung nasa harap na, hindi pa ako naipagpipray. Na-slain ako. Hinimatay. Tapos na yung service. Nakahiga pa ako.
I'm a full-time minister, pastor, worship leader sa Church of the Risen Christ. Passion ko talaga yung sumamba sa Panginoon sa pamagitan ng pagtugtog ng gitara at pagkanta. I believe yun yung calling na binigay sa akin ni Lord to lead people in worship, kumanta, and so for many years, ako yung worship pastor hanggang ngayon, and God's will, I don't know kung hanggang kailan ako. Yung Church of the Risen Christ, meron tayong Tagalog worship service. So ako yung naatasan. So yun ang mainly ginagawa ko. Naghahanda para sa linggo, sa mensahe sa umaga. At then at the same time yung mga lineup ng song. Wednesday Bible study tsaka Sunday evening. So yan ang aking ministry, calling, passion. Sabihin na natin work. So diyan ko binibigay yung buong puso, buong lakas ko.
We started off as charismatic in a different religion, and then we started going to this church, Christian Life. Kalaklan? Yeah, that's where we had our 6-month training, Bible training for the core, like the staff we have now. We were all involved with that. There's a lot of learning, mistakes that we made before as far as doctrines. The Lord showed us.
So from the family, my mom took it to the streets. So we actually had the Bible study on the street where the home of my parents was located. Normally we had just started with one bench, a bench that probably could seat about Filipino size, maybe about 10. And we didn't even fill that one bench up. But my mom kept on continuing with the Bible study, visiting homes around the area and inviting people to come to the Bible study. It started growing. That's when it started becoming a church.
Married ako kay Rafael Ramos. And may dalawa kaming anak, si Mark Rafael Ramos and si Sean Rafael Ramos. Simula pa single ako, nasa church na ako. Ito na yung naging buhay ko. No, hindi ako nakapagtrabaho outside from 16 years old hanggang ngayon. As a church staff, no, ang hawak ko is follow-up ministry. Ito yung sa visitation. May group kami, 12 kaming lahat. So, every Thursday to lumalabas to visit yung mga first time newcomers na umaattend. Tapos, kahit yung mga dati na matagal na hindi umaattend or kahit regular na umaattend, binibisita namin sila para malaman yung kalagayan nila, kumustahin sila sa mga bahay-bahay. Ushering. So, ako rin ang mahawak nito. We make sure na lahat nakaayos. Lahat ng mga flyers o programs na dapat ibigay, nahanda muna namin to. Dahil nga hindi na ako nag-aral, so napunta na sa church yung buhay ko, yung attention ko. May araw na maglilinis, may araw na gumagawa kami ng mga tracks, kasi noon puro gawa lang talaga, magkukulay, magkakat, ganyan. And may araw din kami na mag-door to door, yung soul winning. Kaya halos lahat ng city, ng lugar sa barangay ng Olongapo, napuntahan namin yan. Makita ko yung building na sarili. Yun ang desire ko na ngayon pa patuloy kong pinag-pray na.
Well, I was just a teenager. I was 16 years old. But something was missing that I don't know what it was. It's like at school I was so active and doing good, just so I can forget what's happening at home. But then I think it was my mom and my dad that first attended this Bible study. And at one time, they invited me. There I was listening to this guy, and I thought to myself, if God changed him and he was a murderer, and God gave him a chance, I said, Lord, what more on me? That night I went for prayer, and I just felt so much peace. And so ever since that night, I had a hunger. I just want to serve God. That's all I want to do. I didn't even want to go back to school.
Well, in 1991, I went on a church business trip. The intention was to go to the United States and work with another church there to help raise funds for an orphanage that we were going to start here in Olongapo. And we were eyeing some property at Gordon Heights. While I was there, Mount Pinatubo erupted. I found out on TV. And with that, I was concerned with my family. Somehow we were able to make communication through my dad. And as soon as I found out what was happening, I knew that raising funds for an orphanage was out of the picture. based on what I saw on the news, the city was devastated. So as soon as I found out, within a few weeks, I looked for a job. Actually had 2 jobs to buy a ticket to get back home. And so when I got back, it was quite surprising because the church lost basically everything except for the piano. And of everything that we had, we only were able to save the piano. The building was lost. The roof caved in, so we had to move out of that building into a small apartment that was partially destroyed as well. And that's how we had church when I got down. And when we all gathered back together, year 92, we started rebuilding.
Well, the original name wasn't registered. We used to call it Body of the Risen Christ. Part of it was the vision. The vision was that we would raise up a people that would live like Christ. When we registered the church in 1987, our missionary friends decided that we would name it Agape Ministries. And so when we registered, there was Philippine Agape Ministries Incorporated. We later became Church of the Risen Christ on our 8th year. And on our 8th year was our celebration of a new beginning. And we felt that the Lord wanted to restore the original vision and the original name, but due to conflict of names under the Security and Exchange Commission, we decided that we would stick with the Risen Christ, but we made it Church of the Risen Christ of Olongapo. This year, 30-year celebration, focus on God and not what we did, but what He did. And that our celebration should be giving all glory to God. The phrase, God undeniable, which means that everything that happened, everything that, all the success over the 30 years was undeniably God and not us.